got some updates for you. So come on in. Give everyone a chance to get on in here because I have some important information to share with you all. So come on in. I am not behind the wheel, so I can show you the receipts, the information that is out here centered around the new bill that has been proposed for the removal of dual citizenship in the USA. Come on in, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Come on in, like the video. Like the video as you come on in. Dual citizenship on the line. Dual citizenship on the line, and that does not include your favorite president's family. I'm sorry, that does not exclude your favorite president's family. Come on in, come on in. We got some things to talk about, so y'all get on in here. Class is in session. Class is in session. We're gonna talk about it today. I got time today. We're gonna get into some things. Y'all know how I do it. Let me know if you hold dual citizenship, if this will impact you, your family, friends, loved ones, because changes are coming. Changes are coming. So I want to explain it to make sure that people understand what this means. So you will not be caught up out here, because a lot of people are going to get caught up by this one. If it's approved, that is. So who knows? It's been put out there. We're going to get into the bill. So I'm going to share the bill with you all. This is what the bill looks like. There's this new bill. Fresh off the press, December 1st, 2025, new bill. This is a new bill proposing to end dual citizenship. Are you here for that? I mean, I would imagine most people don't have dual citizenship, but a lot of people do, because especially here in the USA, we got a lot of people who live here who aren't foundational here, who weren't born here. So I don't see why they wouldn't, continue to carry dual citizenship. But there is a senator who's like, nah, He's like, we shouldn't have it. And the crazy thing about it, you all, what makes this so interesting is that this senator who has proposed this, his name is Senator Bernie Moreno. So he's a Republican senator for Ohio. He's not even American. Like he's from Colombia. He's from Colombia. So he's like, yo, like I dropped my Colombian citizenship and just held on to the U.S. citizenship. He's been here since he was like 18 years old. So he's like, listen, if I did it, you can do it. But here's my thing. It's like, okay, more power to you, player. If you want to drop your citizenship for Colombia, that's your business. But what that got to do with me? Like, why? Now, for the record, I do not have dual citizenship anywhere. I've been a U.S. citizen, born here, born in the great state of California. I live in Georgia. But I know there are a lot of people who do hold dual citizenship. And I think that I personally don't find anything wrong with it. I don't find anything wrong with it. But I want to talk about what this Senator Bernie Moreno is proposing. Because he's like, listen, pick a team, pick a side, pick one. Because you cannot have loyalty to more than one. You cannot be loyal to the U.S. and Colombia, Mexico, Listen, you can't be loyal to them all. You need to pick one. So that is what he's saying. He's like, listen, you need to pick one. You need to pick one. So come on in. I'm about to get into some things and explain what Senator Bernie Moreno is proposing. Come on in. I'm going to share a little bit. I was watching this video of this other content creator where he was kind of breaking some things down. So this is what Senator, let me see, this is what Senator Bernie Moreno looks like. So as you listen to me talk, this is what he looks like. So I'm going to let me share a little bit of this video I was watching from this content creator video travel zone. So you can go ahead and, video travel zone. So you can go ahead and follow him, check him out. But I'm going to share what he's got to say about this situation.
Called the Exclusive Citizenship Act Bill of 2025. If this bill passes, it will outlaw dual citizenship, affecting millions of people living abroad. Let's take a look at this and how crazy this is.
Let me turn the volume.
The most important videos I've ever made, because it affects so many people in a negative way if this passes. A senator from Ohio named Senator Bernie Moreno has put out a new plan, a bill that he wants to get passed that would end dual citizenship. Yes, that's right, an end of your dual citizenship. It would force anyone with dual citizenship to choose between the two countries, either the United States or the country that you're currently moved to and living in. It says an individual may not be a citizen or national of the United States while simultaneously possessing any foreign citizenship. The bill is called the Exclusive Citizenship Act of 2025. It would establish that citizens of the United States shall owe sole and exclusive allegiance to the United States, according to the text within the bill. So what this comes down to is that you can't be a U.S. citizen and also have dual citizenship from another country.
Let me know in the chat how you feel about this. Welcome. Hey, just say when. Welcome. Like the video.
5.7 million Americans that live abroad that may have dual citizenship. If this bill is enacted, a U.S. citizen who is also a foreign citizen must submit a written letter getting rid of their foreign citizenship within 1 year of the time of the bill passing. And if they don't do this within that year, they will automatically be deemed to be voluntarily relinquishing their United States citizenship. The bill further goes on to say that any U.S. citizen who voluntarily acquires a foreign citizenship after this new law is enacted shall automatically relinquish their United States citizenship. The bill would require the Secretary of State to create regulations and procedures and verification and record keeping for exclusive citizenship to coordinate with the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security to ensure that any individual deemed to have relinquished citizenship can be removed as a U.S. citizen. So what does this mean for people that are living abroad that have dual citizenship? Like if you've moved to Portugal or Italy or Spain or France or Panama or anywhere. It's not a good thing. You would either need to move back to the United States to keep your citizenship or stay in the country that you're in, and then you would lose your citizenship. You would also lose your Social Security benefits and all kinds of other benefits, like pensions and so on, because you would no longer be a U.S. citizen.
Okay, so let me help explain what this man is talking about. So right now, Senator Bernie Moreno, he was born in Colombia, and he has proposed a bill to eliminate dual citizenship. So he's Colombian. He came to the U.S. at age 18, didn't look back, fell in love with the United States of America, Now he's like, listen, I no longer have dual citizenship. My loyalty is to the U.S. And I feel like everyone should, if you live in the U.S. and you have citizenship here, you should be loyal to the U.S. And you show that by only having citizenship for the U.S. Now, if if everything is approved from a year from the date that it goes into effect, you have to denounce, you have to remove or cancel one of your citizenships. So, for example, if you have citizenship for Brazil and you live in the U.S. and you also have citizenship here in the U.S., you have a 12-month period to pick a team. Decide which one you want. You want to be a citizen for the U.S. or you want to be a citizen for Brazil or whatever that other country is. If 12 months pass and they see that you have not chosen a country and they still show you as having dual citizenship, the U.S. will automatically drop your U.S. citizenship. So now you would be considered a non-citizen. So y'all see all these arrests that they're making with picking up people who aren't here legally, don't have citizenship, all of that. That could be you, even though you were you were born and raised in the U.S. But for the simple fact that their records show you have dual citizenship and you never dropped one, they will make the decision for you and assume that you're not loyal to the U.S., so they will automatically drop your citizenship for the U.S. Not only drop your citizenship, they will also remove your access and ability to receive any government benefits that you normally would have been entitled to here in the USA. For example, your Social Security, your retirement money, all of that, that you spent all your life working for, building up that account, you would no longer have access to that. So basically, you would just get a one-way ticket like all these other people here to wherever your other citizenship is, but you won't be able to be here in the U.S. because you can only have citizenship in one location. So that is the proposal. But here's the thing, Melania Trump, Alex, what's up, Alex? So what I was researching, and they talk about in this video, I'll get back to it. Melania Trump and Baron Trump both hold dual citizenship. Where is she? Let me see. I looked it up. Let me see, be reminded of where Melania is from. Melania is from Slovenia. Melania is from Slovenia. Right now, she has citizenship for Slovenia as well as the United States of America. Her son, Baron Trump, the son she has with President Donald J. Trump, her son also has dual citizenship. So her reasoning, from what I've learned through my research, apparently someone wrote a book about her last year, something like that. But she wanted her son to have options. So that's why she got him his passport, everything. So therefore, he'll be set up to have dual citizenship and he can make the decision on where he wants to live. So it's so funny because as was doing my research and looking at the different things on the internet about this topic, people are saying that the Moreno guy, the senator, this is the senator who's proposing this. He's apparently MAGA. They're like, he clearly didn't think this one through. He did not think this one through because this would impact his boy, Donald J. Trump. This would impact his family. This would impact his wife as well as his son. So we will get into, let me see. This is the actual bill. The bill was presented December 1st. This is the bill. We can go through this bill. Come on in, like the video. I want to put this out here because there are a lot of people who live here in the U.S. who are not from here. And I would imagine a large number of people who live here who are not from here hold dual citizenship. So that means they have the citizenship from where they were born, as well as they have citizenship here in the USA. Senator Moreno was like, nah, I mean, I hear that. I once had dual citizenship, but you need to pick one. Like, pick one. We ain't doing that. You either loyal to the U.S. or not. So this is the bill. We'll go through this bill. Come on in, like the video. It reads, in the Senate of the U.S. in the Senate of the United States, Mr. Moreno introduced the following bill, which was read twice and referred to the committee on. The bill. Let me hold this up so you can see. And you can find this bill yourself. If you Google Senator Bernie Moreno, and it talks about his, proposal of this bill. In the articles, it'll kind of link to the bill that he's proposing. So I believe it said December 1st, he presented this proposal. Thank you all. Come on in, like the video, like, share, subscribe. So let's get to it. Let me know in the chat if this will impact you, your family, your loved ones. But the bill reads, to establish that citizens of the U.S. shall owe sole and exclusive allegiance to the United States and other purposes. 1, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled. Section 1, short title. The act may be cited as Exclusive Citizenship Act of 2025. Section 2, findings. Congress makes following findings: to preserve the integrity of national citizenship, allegiance to the U.S. must be undivided. So that's why you're like, yo, pick one, pick a side, pick a side. Existing law allows certain U.S. citizens to maintain foreign citizenship, which may create conflicts of interest and divided loyalties. It is also a national interest of the U.S. to ensure that the U.S. citizens U.S. citizenship is held exclusively. Section 3, in this act, in general, except as otherwise specifically provided, any term used in this act that is used in the immigration laws shall have the meaning given such term in the immigration laws. 2, foreign citizenship. The term foreign citizenship means any status recognized by the government of a foreign country that confers on an individual a nationality or citizenship of such country or requires the allegiance of an individual to such country. Sussex, welcome. You said this affects my family. Only one member is both U.S. and Euro citizenship. So that's what's put on the table. Spread the word. Spread the word. Like, share, subscribe. Immigration laws. The term immigration laws has the meaning given such term in Section 101A of the Immigrations and National Act. So let's keep going. Section 4, prohibition on dual or multiple citizenships. In general, an individual may not be a citizen or national of the U.S. while simultaneously possessing any foreign citizenship. B, effective acquisition of foreign citizenship. A citizen of the United States who, after the date of the enactment of this act, voluntarily acquires foreign citizenship shall be deemed to have relinquished U.S. citizenship. So what that means is that, so once this is passed, if it's passed, you have a 12-month period to drop one of your citizenships. So you got like a year to pick one. They're going to create like this database that will show who has dual citizenship here in the U.S. because they're going to have to manage it, because they'll have to keep record of, okay, who has dropped one of their citizenships and now only holds one, being the USA. After 12 months, if they show that you have not made a decision as to which country you want to have your citizenship under, they will make the choice for you by dropping the U.S. I repeat, if you do not make a decision on which location, which country you want to hold your citizenship, the U.S. will pick for you, and they will drop theirs. They'll drop the U.S. They'll be like, okay, you not serious. Listen, you don't love the USA. You don't love us. So we're going to drop your citizenship for the U.S. and just have you have citizenship for whatever that other country is. And what comes along with that is the removal of any U.S. benefits that you have access to right now. So, for example, if you have money in a retirement account, Social Security, what they got, 401k, all of that, the retirement funds, all that stuff that you worked all your life to save up, to build in order to have a better life, all of that, you will no longer have access to that. You will be somebody that they will be able to legally come and round up and knock on your door, because they'll be like, listen, you ain't a citizen here. You ain't got no paperwork on file that you got a visa, some type of asylum. Listen, you got to go. So just like how we're seeing them roll up on these people who weren't born here and who overstayed, whether they were here under a green card, visa, asylum, all of that. Even though you might have been born in California, Alabama, New York, you can get the same treatment, because they would now have you on record as being a non-U.S. citizen. Why? Because you did not follow instructions, which was for you to pick a team, to pick a country. If you have dual citizenship, they like, yo, you need to pick one. This is what this Senator Bernie Moreno, he's a Colombian. This is what he's proposing. He's been in the U.S. since he was age 18. He's a senator out of Ohio. Will this impact you? Will this impact your loved ones? Will this impact your friends? Will this impact your haters? Will this impact the ones you can't stand? Will this impact your neighbor? Because many of us know someone who holds dual citizenship. And you know who I know who holds dual citizenship? My president, Donald John Quavius Trump. That's what the J stands for over here, John Quavius. His wife, Melania Trump, as well as his son, Baron Trump, holds dual citizenship. This would impact them. They would not be exempt from this. So let's get into it. Like the video as you come on in. James says your allegiance either belongs here to America or it doesn't, period. I hear you. He says, sounds like this Libby podcast should have America. Podcasters should have America. Listen, this is what I'm trying to spread the word, because a lot of people are going to get caught up in this. Because say if it gets, James, you said, so they are here legally. So say, for example, if they pull your citizenship because you didn't follow the instructions by choosing, let's just say, the U.S. over, say, Canada, then no, you would no longer be here. You wouldn't be here legally, because you're not a U.S. citizen and you don't have nothing else on record to show that you should be here under any other type of credential. So they'll be like, listen, you got to leave. You got to go back to where the country who holds your other citizenship. That is what this bill, that's what's proposed in this bill. Let me know in the chat if you're here for it. If you're like, yes, like, listen, pick one. Let's continue on in this bill. We're almost through it. It's just 4 pages. Dual citizens. In general, not later than 1 year after the date of enactment of this act, a citizen of the U.S. who also possesses foreign citizenship shall submit to the Secretary of State a written renunciation of such foreign citizenship. So remember, I said you got to follow instructions. You have to renounce. You got to say, listen, I'm choosing the U.S. over Pakistan, over Colombia, over Mexico, over wherever. I'm choosing the U.S. You have to submit that to the Secretary of State. Part B says, submit to the Secretary of Homeland Security a written renunciation of the U.S. citizenship. These are the instructions you have to follow. You have 12 months to follow these instructions. I repeat, you have a calendar year to follow these instructions. So if it's passed, it would likely, I believe because it was presented December 1st. So it would be, say, you have basically until next December, probably like November 30th, to make your decision. Because once that full year hit, they're going to go into the system and automatically remove your U.S. citizenship. They don't care if you was from Alabama, your mama was from Alabama, your dad, they don't care. Part 2, effective non-compliance, an individual subject to paragraph 1 who fails to timely comply with the paragraph shall be deemed to have voluntarily relinquished U.S. citizenship for purposes of Section 349A of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Y'all, that's what I said. I've been trying to explain that to you. This is what it's saying. Follow instruction. They like, yo, if you don't pick one, we gonna pick one for you. That's what this is saying. You got 12 months. Part D, effective date. This section shall take effect on the date that is 180 days after the date of enactment of this act. So the starting date will be 180 days after it's approved. It was presented, I think 12/1. So it's going through the motion. Thing is going through, I guess, Congress. Thing is filtered up to Congress. It has to get approved. It has to get approved. So 180 days from the day it's enacted. That's when the clock starts. You have 12 months from then. The Secretary of State shall promulgate regulations to carry out this act, including procedures for declaration, verification, and record keeping of exclusive citizenship. So our country, they're going to have their paperwork in order because they're going to have to keep record of who has dual citizenship. Because how do you know who's not complying by these rules if you don't have a record of who holds dual citizenship? So they're going to have to create a record of a log of who has dual citizenship, and someone will have to monitor that. Part B, coordinate with the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security to ensure that any individual deemed to have relinquished citizenship under this act is appropriately recorded in the federal system and treated as an alien for purposes of the immigration laws. So everybody gonna have to have their paperwork in order because different systems are gonna have, like, for example, it's showing that the Homeland Security, they gonna have to communicate and make sure with the federal system, they got their updates. Like, everybody's information needs to be kind of lined up and read the same. So therefore, they know like who legit should be here versus not. Part 2, the Secretary of Homeland Security shall publish in the Federal Register a notification of requirements under Section 4. So let me see what y'all saying. So that's the bill that's been proposed. You all can look it up. It's out there. It's trending right now. You can go to Google, YouTube, wherever you want to go. James, you said, so they are here. Then sign the form. James, listen, either you want to be here or you don't. Shit. Tim said, stupid bill we got to worry about. Yes, so here's the thing. So Donald Trump's wife and son have dual citizenship. How do you think they feel about this bill that's proposed? Because they would have to pick one. Melania would have to pick one. She'd have to decide whether she wants to have citizenship here or Slovenia, as well as her son. Do you think Donald Trump would be happy about her needing to make that decision? Because here's the thing when it comes to Donald with Trump. A lot of stuff, as far as what Trump has been pushing and advocating for, it hasn't really been things that impacts his family. This is something that actually impacts his family because he knew, as he's pushing for, hey, you need to be here legally, this, that, and third. He knew his wife was here legally. That doesn't impact him. But this right here, oh, baby, this definitely has an impact to him because his wife holds dual citizenship. This is what I've learned as I've been researching this story. This bill, that Melania and Baron hold dual citizenship, which makes sense to me because a lot of people hold dual citizenship, people who are here but were born someplace else in another country. Now, the question comes into, does this impact the 14th Amendment? Because some believe this will impact the 14th Amendment. So let's get into what the 14th Amendment says. The 14th Amendment is a U.S. constitutional amendment ratified in 1868 that granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the U.S., including formerly enslaved people. It also established the principle of due process and equal protection of the laws for all citizens and prohibits states from denying these rights. This amendment has been central to many landmark Supreme Court decisions on civil rights and liberations. So the reason why I bring up the 14th Amendment is because the 14th Amendment is what protects you as a U.S. citizen, that guarantees you to have all the rights, not some of the rights, all the rights here in the USA. Why? Because you were born here. It says it's granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the U.S. But with this new bill, the bill is saying basically, I don't give a damn. I don't care if you was born in Iowa, Idaho, Ohio, Chicago. I don't care. I don't care where you were born in the U.S. If we show on record that you have citizenship in another country and you have not made a decision to pick one, and 12 months from the time this bill is passed, you still are on record with having dual citizenship, oh, baby, don't even worry about it no more. We're going to pick one for you. And the one that we're going to choose to drop will be the U.S. citizenship. And when that happens, it's also removing any benefits that you have or you had here in the U.S., such as Social Security benefits, retirement funds, all the monies that you made here that filters through the system, the government system. Oh, baby, when you leave to go wherever your other citizenship is, you're not taking that with you. They're like, leave that there. You need to go start all over and get you a job again. So I was watching the video, and I'll go back to it. This with the guy as he talks about it, and because he was directly impacted by it. So let's get back to this video where this guy is breaking down what this means for us. Like the video.
So if this bill passes and you've purchased a home in another country and you're moved there and are living there, you would basically have 1 year to sell your house and move back to the United States, or lose your citizenship and Social Security that you might be living on. Now, if you're someone who's very rich and you're not living off Social Security and you don't need to be a U.S. citizen, this might not affect you in a bad way without any big financial issues. But I think this would also cause problems for people who have investments in the United States. For example, if you have investments in real estate to get different tax breaks in the United States, you may lose all these tax benefits because you would no longer be a U.S. citizen. We don't know exactly how this would affect everything, but you may be required to even close different bank accounts because you're no longer a U.S. citizen, and maybe need to open up a different type of bank account in the U.S. as a foreigner because you're no longer a citizen. Just imagine how this would affect the whole industry all around the world of different businesses that help people move from the U.S. to different countries. Many lawyers in different countries rely a lot on the business they get from Americans moving to their country. Same with different relocation services, shipping services, and more. What would happen to the housing market in each country? Could you imagine every American that needs to be moving back to the U.S. trying to sell their house within 1 year in every country outside of the United States? This would probably create a gigantic housing crash, and you probably would only get pennies on the dollar for your house that you need to sell because there won't be any more Americans moving to other countries. So you would have a much lower value of your house when you go to sell it. In some countries, they may look at this as being a good thing, getting rid of all the Americans and lowering the housing costs, so now their own people in each country could afford a more affordable housing. So this is something that anyone that's living outside of the United States with dual citizenship or is planning to move out of the United States to get dual citizenship really needs to start watching. We need to see what's going to happen with this bill. Could this bill really pass? Or even if it doesn't pass as it is, could it be changed a little bit and then passed still to end dual citizenship as we know it now? For me and my wife, we're in the process of selling everything we own, getting ready to put our house up for sale as we're planning our move. This would be devastating for us. We've been planning this move now for many years, waiting for us to fully go into retirement, which we've now started, and we're both on our Social Security now, getting ready to move. We've already sold half of the things we own and are looking forward to moving. So what do you think the chances are of this bill passing? I can only hope that it does not pass and has no chance. This is kind of crazy to me to think that someone would even put something like this forward. Some of the things to think about would be, is this a violation of our 14th Amendment? Under the 14th Amendment, a U.S. citizen can't lose their citizenship unless he or she willingly surrenders it. So if this bill was to pass, that would be a direct conflict of the 14th Amendment, would it not? But with all the crazy things going on nowadays, who knows what's going to happen? The senator himself is from the country of Colombia and became a U.S. citizen. He gave up his Colombian citizenship just for American citizenship. So now he wants all Americans to give up any dual citizenship they have to other countries. I will put a link in the bottom of this video text area straight to his website, and you can see a link where you can read the whole complete bill for yourself. This bill was just put forward on December 1st. So what are your thoughts on this? Leave that in the comments below. Is this crazy, insane, or what? Do you think this will pass? I sure hope it doesn't. If this passes and you're living outside of the U.S., how would this dramatically affect you and your family? For us, we're not even moved out of the U.S. yet, and this would be affecting us very dramatically. I see some stories pointing out that even Donald Trump, the President of the United States, would be affected because his wife would lose her dual citizenship and also his son, Baron Trump. So with that being pointed out, you would just have to imagine how many other people have their wives or some of their children with dual citizenship working or investing in other countries that this bill would affect. So that's my short, shocking video for today, that I hope this bill does not pass or even come close to passing, or even be changed into a new different bill that might pass. Thanks for watching.
There you go. Dual citizenship at risk. Are you here for it? Sussex says, so dual citizenship is double dipping in Social Security, right? Not illegal, but should it be? I guess here's my thing. If you're collecting whatever here in the U.S. because you rightfully worked and earned it, okay. But if you also lived in another country there and you worked there and had things and you paid into their systems, I also feel like you should be entitled to whatever it is they offer as well. So if you're talking about double dipping, yes, I feel like you should be entitled to benefit from wherever you poured work into. I don't see anything wrong, because a lot of people are moving from the U.S. because they can no longer afford to live here. That's the story of a lot of people that I've seen like online who talk about why they no longer live in the U.S. A lot of it is largely rooted in finances. So they make the money here in the U.S. where it's a higher earning potential, but high cost of living. So it's like the money's up here from what they made in comparison to wherever they go, but the cost of living is up here as well. So if they take that money that they made and go to a country where the cost of living is down here, that money, because you're on a fixed income now, once you retire, it's going to go further. You see? So a lot of people are choosing to move. I don't feel like it has anything to do with loyalty or lack of love for the U.S. I think it's just out of survival. They can no longer afford to live here. They're like, listen, I can't afford it. Tim said, or want to live here anymore. Yes, a lot of people are saying they don't want to live here anymore because of the politics. It's different reasons. But I don't feel like just because, let's just say you choose to go live somewhere else, you should relinquish all of your benefits. You worked for that. It wasn't like, okay, the government just handed you this. You worked it. You paid money into these things. So how do you say, hey, okay, you're moving to Brazil, but you can't take the money that you paid into because you're paying into these resources. You're paying into these things. When they taking taxes out of your check and things, like, you're paying into these things. So they're now saying, okay, just because you choose to want to call another place home and say the second half of your life, you can't take the monies that you earned in the first half of your life with you. Like, really think about it. Because to me, that's what it comes down to. I understand the whole notion of, hey, loyalty and things like that. But to me, the bigger picture is, hey, you're wanting to also strip away the things that people spent many years working hard to build. And I personally don't think that's right. And I honestly, truly don't think, even though Donald Trump, like, he don't want these immigrants here, all of that, this dual citizenship part and stripping people and say, hey, you can't take this and you need to pick one. I don't think that he would like it. I don't think he'll like it, primarily because it's going to hit home. Because y'all know how it be. People don't really start really caring about stuff or really seeing the other side until it hits home. And to me, this one will hit home for the Trump family. This is going to hit home for them. So I don't see him proposing. Like, if his wife was American, it would be different. I can see him being like, yes, because it will also, he would just look at it from the angle of it impacting the immigrants who are here. But hell, he married to an immigrant. Like, let's talk about it. Melania is an immigrant. So because now this is something that impacts him, I don't see him using his voice to speak out on it and support it. I would be interested in knowing if, or I would love to see someone ask him about this new bill, because, he's not afraid to talk to the press. So that's what I do like, like, he'll talk to the press. I really want to hear what he has to say when someone presents this to him. Like, I want to know what he has to say. Because I don't think that, to me, it wouldn't make sense that he would talk favorably for it, given that his wife is a foreigner. Like, I'm just saying, y'all. Sussex says, my relative worked in both countries and gets pensions from both. People won't want to forfeit all the money, though. Wonder if they can cash out. I get it, but this is sticky. Right. I mean, I don't think you're going to cash. It's going to be like, no, like, how do you cash out on your Social Security? Like, really think about it, because these things are like paid out like monthly. It's not like you can, like, okay, you get Social Security and when you die, your child can inherit your Social Security. Like, the way it's set up, it's like a monthly payout. So because of that, it's just a hard stop. Like, say when someone passed away and they're getting some type of benefits, disability or whatever, it's a hard stop. Like, once the government learns that this person is no longer here, what's supposed to happen is that it's a hard stop in the system from doing those monthly deposits. And if those deposits still continue to take place and someone is accessing the monies, that's fraud. And that person can go to jail. So it's the way this bill works. It's like, it's all or nothing. It's either like, you're going to be here and go ahead each month, get your little deposit, or you're going to say, nah, fine, you can keep my money, keep them deposits, and I'm still leaving. Because I think most people are not going to be in a situation financially to say, forget it, I don't care, I'm still leaving anyway. I don't think that's the situation for most people. I think most people are going to just stick it out and just deal with living still here in the U.S. because of that part. Because even if it came down to, okay, they got to pick one place, they can't have citizenship here, but they can still get their benefits, that's different. I think a lot of people would be willing to still deal with that, long as they can get their money. But what they're saying is like, hey, if you no longer have citizenship here in the USA, you also no longer have these benefits, which include pensions, Social Security, retirement funds, all those funds, the money that you made in the USA, bank accounts frozen, like it's done, like you're not getting it. Sussex says, exactly. Thanks for discussing this. Thank you for being here. Like the video, you all. I just want to jump on and just talk about this because as I was learning and trying to gain an understanding, I wanted to make sure that a lot of other people understood what's happening here, because I think there are going to be people who are going to be caught up in it and they're not going to adhere to the timeline that they have to pick one. Because as I've been reading in some of the comments on like the video I was sharing, there's people in the comments like, well, how would they even know? Like, so it's going to be people just trying to play the game of like, catch me if you can. Like, well, I'm not telling them anything and we'll just see if they're going to find out. My thing is, I don't feel like it would be hard for them to tell if somebody has dual citizenship or not. I don't know. I just feel like with the systems and things that are in place, AI, like I think they'll be able to eventually figure it out. They may not have it figured out exactly 1 year from the date everything is approved. They may, but eventually they're going to figure it out. And wouldn't it be tough for you to find out that your citizenship has been dropped when you're in the midst of trying to handle some business? Like, imagine like you're trying to maybe travel, you trying to renew your passport, you trying to go through the airport, whatever. And then the conversation is, well, sir, you're not a U.S. citizen. They be like, what? I'm from Mississippi. What are you talking about? My mama, my grandma, listen, we FBA. We FBA. What are you talking about? And then they tell you, well, your citizenship has been dropped because it shows that you also have citizenship in Jamaica or whatever. And so you didn't drop it by this date. So the government dropped the U.S. citizenship. So you now are only on record for the citizenship under Jamaica. So sorry. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think a lot of people who is going to find out and like when they in the situation, and then they're going to be in this mode of like trying to fix it. I have not learned yet as I've been moving around with, and I guess because everything is still in the talking stages, as far as what happens if after the 12 months, you didn't make the decision, they drop your citizenship. Now you're like, okay. I want my citizenship back. I'll drop this. I don't know if there's any take backs, if they'll just fix it like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they'll be like, all right, then we'll put your citizenship back in place. Or is it like, nah, you missed the deadline. Bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know. I've been covering politics and it can get downright ugly and dirty. It can get downright ugly and dirty. So I think it's going to be an entire mess if this were to pass with people in this whole dual citizenship thing. There's so many people, especially since the pandemic times, that have gotten citizenship over in Africa, over in the continent of Africa, different places. And largely because they say they couldn't, they couldn't afford to continue to live here in the U.S. A lot of them went post-retirement because, again, the money goes further. Cost of living is down here, but you're coming up, coming over there with your money up here. So you're on a fixed income. They collecting a check, getting their deposits every month in their bank. So the money that's coming from the U.S. is basically funding their life, say, in Nigeria, just to use that as an example. That's what's happening. So let's just say it's $2,000 every month that's deposited into your bank in the U.S. Can't really live off of that $2,000 a month here in the U.S. It's a struggle. You be on the soup line. You need about 4-5 roommates. But $2,000 a month, almost probably in any other place in the world, would take you very far. Because I'm going to say the U.S. has the highest cost of living than any other place. Y'all can let me know in the chat if there's other places where the cost of living is higher. But I'm going to say, because I believe the USA has had the highest currency, but the dollar is kind of going down. But it's just cheaper to just live anywhere else. So $2,000 living in Nigeria, you can live pretty good. $2,000 living in Georgia, baby. You like, okay, what you say I need to do to apply for EBT? And I need to get on that list for Section 8 too. What else you say the government offering? You need everything. Even people who are working, Y'all ever hear of the working poor, or do you consider yourself part of the working poor? The working poor is people who go to work, who maybe still don't have a home of their own. They may be living in a car, sleeping on somebody else's couch. That's working poor. Or say if they do got a roof over their head, that there's nothing else left after they pay bills every month, and they're probably still in a deficit, so they're stealing from Peter to pay Paul. We learned that yesterday in yesterday's lessons on the Car Chronicle, where you borrowing from over here to pay the person over here. How many of you that's how you get by every month? You ain't even using your off days, because you got to get some hours in on that day too, just to be able to make sure that you can pay whoever you need to pay, so you won't be put outside. Like, this is how a lot of American people are living and have been living for a really, 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 really long time. A lot of people. I would say most people. It's hard out here for a pimp. I say that all the time. Pimping ain't easy. Pimping is not easy. It's hard out here. Just say Wynn said, some will be caught out there abroad and have their Social Security shut off. Crypto Queen says, exactly, just say when. That's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of people, they're going to get caught up in a situation. They're going to be in a situation to where they're not going to be aware that the change took place, or that they've been impacted, until they're trying to handle some business. And then they just going to be like, what? But here's the thing. When it does happen to them, they're going to know. I believe they would know that this was like the new law, but people are just going to think that, well, I ain't finna do that. You know how people be like, they want to buck the system, or think that somehow they can get around things. I think it's going to be a lot of people trying to do that. We're like, well, I ain't finna tell them. I'm not going to report it. So I'm going to act like I didn't know. Ignorance is not a defense in the courts. That's not going to hold up. That'll hold up, but when you say, well, I just didn't know. That's why it's important for us to learn the law, especially where you live. You got to be tapped in some type of way, especially in these times, because there's so much that's changing. And a lot of these changes, if you're not aware of them, you can get caught up. And that's why, with this channel, it's centered around me trying to be up on as much as I can. So therefore, I can come out here to you all and explain it to the best of my ability, so you can understand, for the purpose of protecting yourself, your family, children, loved ones, all of that. Because it's a lot going on. And there's a lot of people who aren't tapped in, who don't really pay attention to like stuff in politics, because it can be overwhelming and it stresses people out. Like I took a 2-month break. I just came back to YouTube like this week, y'all. I took a break. I had to woosah. And sometimes you need to do that. But it's a lot going on. And I would hate for anybody to be out in these streets, caught up in a situation. You out there with your kids, your mans, your woman, and your citizenship is being challenged. Basically, it's going to be a day basically where natural born, like U.S. citizens, experiencing the same challenges of those today who are foreigners, who are here on green card visas. Those challenges that we're seeing them experience, as far as with conversations being had about them not being citizens, paperwork not being in order. It's going to be the same thing. But I think it's going to be so hard for the American to really handle it, because they know, hey, this is where I was born. Like, how, Sway, how? Like, people are going to be shooketh. They're going to be shooketh. But I guarantee you the bulk of them will be aware, would know that this was already out there. It's just that they just going to not take it serious. Like I said, that's going to be on you. Ignorance isn't a defense in court. Never has been. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this over time. I don't know how long it could take for things like this to be approved, because the bill was just presented this month, December 1st. Today's only the 4th. So I don't know, y'all. I mean, I don't know, by the first of the year, if it could have, gone through the system. Now, he's a Republican. And y'all know the Republicans hold the dominant seats in all of the what do you call it? The positions, the court positions. They hold, the Republicans is mostly Republicans. So do you think that because he's a Republican, the Republicans who are in like the, fellow Senate Republicans, the Republicans in the Congress, do you think those Republicans will automatically want to green light this and vote yes? Or you like, nah, I don't think they'll be loyal to the party. They'll just, because how many of us, I think, like I said, I think almost everyone knows someone who has dual citizenship, but it may not be someone in your home. But a lot of people, are married to people who are not from here, and they have children with them. So it's kind of sticky. And that's why I say I would love to hear what President Trump has to say about this one, because his wife is a foreigner and it would impact her. But here's the thing with this bill and all of this, it don't matter really what he thinks, because he's not the one who would sign off on it. But I think it would make a difference if he spoke out about it and let it be known how he felt about it, because those who would be voting on it would likely kind of factor that in. So who knows if he's behind the scenes having conversations with people and we're just not seeing it on the platform. But really, I would think common sense, like the Republicans who receive this in front of them and they have to vote on it, their thoughts are, well, President Trump's wife is a foreigner. Like, you know what I'm saying? You start going through your Rolodex of people who who have dual citizenship or likely have dual citizenship. So I don't know, y'all. This one's going to be real interesting, y'all. Baby. This is going to be real interesting. So, and listen, this is just getting us set up for the shenanigans is about to pop off in 2026. We in 2025. I'm letting y'all know like what to expect to be going down in 2026. You're like, oh my gosh. Oh my God. Like the shenanigans. Oh, it continues. Oh, don't think it stops. That's why I'm like, you got to woo-saw, because we don't have any saviors out here. I repeat, I come on my lives and I say it each time, you will have to save yourself. There are no saviors out here. There are no Democrat saviors. There's no Republican saviors. You have to save yourself. And you may ask, well, Sheik, what does that mean? Like, how do you do that? What I mean by that is that you have to go within. You have to ask yourself what it is that you want, what your needs are, what's not working for you. You have to come to an understanding of all that and iron out a plan. Iron out a plan to handle your business. It can be done, but it can only be done by you. By you. It's not someone else coming in to save you. These people who got their EBT cards turned off. These people who are getting kicked out of the Section 8. These are life lessons that show you that you cannot rely on someone else, especially a system. Ain't no way, y'all, I would want to rely on a government system to put food on my table and keep a roof over my head. Y'all see the shenanigans that's taking place out here? Who got faith in any of them that we see come across our screen, making the decisions on our livelihood as far as food on the table, roof over our head? I don't. So I don't even understand how people are okay with even being that comfortable with having to have whether or not they're going to have food on Thanksgiving be determined at a vote for 50 white men. Like, really think about it. Like, what? Like, who is choosing to live that way? Not I. I'm not choosing to live that way. So again, there is no savior out there. And I hope that these people who were caught up in this with the government shutdown, that was the lesson they came to learn, is that they have to try to figure out how to get it themselves, because clearly it can be done because most people do it. So it can be done. If there's a will, there's a way. So you have to figure out what it is. What are your wants, needs, desires, all of that. And then from there, you iron out a game plan to achieve those things. It's possible. But it's going to start with you having an understanding that it's only possible because of you, not possible because of that politician who making decisions on the behalf of the people in your community. No, your future, your goals, your success, it's in your hands. It's in your hands. And this is information I know. And over the past couple of months, when I took a break from YouTube, these are things that I was reminded of. And there are a lot of people who struggle in these places. But also when I took a break, I'll show you on my new channel. When I took a break from YouTube, I created a new channel. It's actually a third channel that I have. I created a new channel, a new, hold on, let me try to log in. I'll show you all. So if you want to go over there and subscribe to it to help you out with the shift, the mental shift, because we are in a place to where we have to do a mental shift. Yeah. All right. So let me bring up my new channel. I'll bring up my new channel. So this right here, the 2 months I was gone, I created a new channel. It's back in September. Let me see so you guys can know what it's called. It's called Neural Shift Subliminals. So if you go to YouTube and do a search, Neural Shift Subliminals, you'll see. So what I do is almost daily, but definitely like every week, I drop different content, a lot of times short, I'll do some long form videos, but I'll create these different videos. I'll click on one to show you kind of what it looks like. So you'll know, like, this is an example of one of my videos. Let me play this. This is programming, guys. This is programming, which is subliminals. If you ever see these out there, that's what it is. And when you see positive, these types of things, these affirmation things, when you see them, it gets stored in your subconscious, and it has you to start thinking differently. You see, I deserve the best in all things. You got to believe that. You got to believe that. You got to feel that. You are deserving. That's what you have to do. That's what it means to save yourself. You have to reprogram your mind. Neural shift subliminals. That is my new YouTube channel. You can follow me there. So therefore you can start getting the daily. I usually do them daily. Sometimes if I don't do it in a day, I may drop 2, 3, multiple in a day. But during this Thanksgiving break last week, I dropped like a whole bunch of them. And I even have some, I did some shorts on this channel as well. But you have to change your mindset. You have to shift. You have to have a mental shift. You have to have a mental shift. And and a lot of times it can be overnight, but it's repetition. It's repetition. We have to change our paradigm. Paradigm meaning it's like what's your belief system. Your paradigm is your belief system. So once I hit at least 50 subscribers on this new channel, Neural Shift Subliminals, I'm about 4 away from that. I can start going live from that channel and talk to you more about what I've learned about just manifestation and changing the mindset. My background is clinical mental health counseling. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. So, but these are the things that I've learned, and these are the things that I want to share what I've learned. But it helps. It does make a difference. I've seen the difference just in my life by just shifting my thought process. And because I shifted my thought process, that's how I was able to come back onto YouTube and start back covering content, because it got so full with everything that was going on in the world and with politics. It was just too much. So I had to kind of take a step back. And when I took a step back, I learned how to take better care of my mental health. I learned how to reprogram my mind and to a place to where I start to walk by faith, not by sight. Because y'all, If we go off of just what we seeing, baby. So walking by faith means that you have faith that better days are coming. You have faith that you're going to get a job. Talk about faith. My friend 4 weeks ago lost his job. You know, a lot of people been losing their jobs. So 4 weeks ago, so his last day was like October 31st. Lost job, no severance, nothing. Yesterday, he sent me a message saying he got a job offer. Y'all, the average person is without a job for at least 5 months right now. Again, it starts in the mind. My friend has a very strong faith. I have a strong faith. So those things make a difference in these times. So this is the telltale difference between somebody having faith versus not. Somebody having faith that there is something out there, better days, something's coming, get an offer, versus someone who don't have faith. And then they continue month after month finding themselves still unemployed. It makes a difference. And a lot of people don't understand really, truly how strong the mind is. It's very strong. It's very strong. You are what you think. Thoughts become things. So if you can think about it, it can happen. Y'all, I heard someone, I was listening today doing my normal study of all of this. And the guy was like, I was told that everything happens twice. Meaning that this mouse pad, before it was created, this is the second time it was thought about, because the first time it was thought about, was in the head, in the mind. So it goes to show that anything that you think about can show up in the 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever D we are in. So it's always at least 2 times that there's that thought. It starts here and then it's in the physical form. Remember, so it don't start in the physical form, then go to the head. So if you're wanting to have great things, have greatness and create, you got to first start by thinking about it. You got to think about it, because if you can think about it, it's possible. If you can think about it, it's possible. It's just that now your job is to bring it into the 3D, because it's possible, because you thought about it. Anything you can think about, because everything from this cup, the calculator, everything started in the mind with a thought. Everything started in the mind with a thought. So that is what I've learned, and I've been applying that. So get into your head more and think about what it is you want, what type of outcome you want to see, what type of results you want to have. Think about it. And not only when you think about it, you have to feel it as well, because that's the superpower. The superpower is the emotion connected with the thoughts. We are going through tough times right now as far as with this world, with the politics and everything. So these things that I'm sharing, these things can help you along the way to navigate through these trying times. Because I repeat, there is no savior. There's no savior outside of yourself. I'll say that. There is no savior outside of yourself. You are your own savior. And it starts here. It starts here. Remember that. It starts here. Start thinking about the things, the results that you want. Think about it daily. Don't think about the negative. You got to think about the positive. You got to think about the positive. You got to think about the positive. So that's what I want to share with you all. Again, if you're interested in learning more about that, follow my new YouTube channel, Neural Shift Subliminals, where I drop content centered around subliminals, with music and things like that. So sometimes, I'll drop like popular trending songs with the images, or sometimes it'll be just like lovely, sound waves and things like that. So it's just whatever type of vibe I'm on at that time with what I want to have coupled with the message. But in all, it's still the same impact. It's repetition. Thoughts become things. Lesson of the day, honor students. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Remember that. So, dual citizenship right now, it's on the chopping block. It may be here. It may be a thing in 2026. It may not. It may not. But look into it. Research it. Research potential removal of dual citizenship in the USA. A bill that was proposed by Senator Bernie Moreno. He's a Republican out of Ohio. Republican out of Ohio. He's a Republican out of Ohio. So look into it. It's just one more thing for us to navigate through. More reason to find your moments to woo-sah, because it's a lot. And remember, if we were moving by sight, it's a lot. So that's why we got to, more than ever before, we have to move by faith. Positive, believe. Yes, I like that, Tim. Positive, believe. Yeah. You got to be positive and you got to believe. Believe that the better days are here, that they're coming. All of that. All of that, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Give it a try. What do you have to lose? My thing is, in these days, like, really, what do we have to lose? What do we have to lose? Try something different. Why not? If what you've been doing haven't been working, that's more reason to try something different, right? That's my thought. If what you've been doing ain't been working, like, how you going to fight the idea of trying something different? Lauren, welcome. You say you are one smart lady. That would take them all of Congress back to Israel. Listen, we're going to watch it. I'm going to continue to watch it. I'm curious to see how they're going to vote on this one. I hope that it doesn't get approved. I don't want it to get approved, but we're going to see. We're going to see. So, yeah, that's it, y'all. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Who knows? Y'all know I'll be random with going live on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I do the Car Chronicles. So we did do that this week after a long 2-month break. So that was awesome. Today, I want to hop on and share this information with you all that I felt could be very beneficial to you all. So make sure you share, share, share. Take care of yourselves and one another. Remember, you all, thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. If you're not getting good results in life right now, change your thoughts. Change how you're thinking about things, how you're feeling. Be nice. Be nice to people. If you need money, find opportunities to give. It's the law of attraction. What you need, give more of that. If you want love, give love. If you want money, give money. If you want time, give time. Like, you all, it's so simple, but at the same time, it's like people don't do these things. And a lot of it is rooted out of ignorance because they don't know it. They never heard it before. Or they think it sounds crazy or it sounds too simple. But try it. I challenge you all to just give it a try because that's what I've been doing over the past 2 months. And it has really been a game changer for me in my life. I've gotten awesome results as we see how so many people are without jobs. In situations. I'm not in that situation, but I will tell you that because of me putting this work in, I get opportunities presented to me almost daily. And I just don't take up on the opportunities. But I understand why I get these opportunities presented to me because of my thought process. So I'm gravitating these great opportunities. Like, I was recently in a situation where I had to tell someone, no, I don't want the job. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm good. I got some already over here. But there are a lot of people who just can't even get someone to extend an offer, you see? But I know why that happened for me, because I had went through a shift. And that was my first sign of seeing, like, wow, it really does work. Because I did this, that, and the third, which changed my mindset. And now here it is. I'm getting presented the opportunities that many people would love to have presented to them. So now I'm more so in a situation of turning away things versus being in a situation of need. Isn't that great? We all should be in a situation where we can maybe turn away opportunities or push them to somebody else versus feeling like you have to have that. Feeling out of, we don't want to move out of lack. That's not what you should want to do. You don't want to be in lack. You want to be in abundance. So it's a great position to be in, to know that to not have to be just waiting on edge for something to happen for you. And unfortunately, that's the situation for a lot of people. But I'm telling you, it don't have to be a situation. If you change your thought process, you'll get all kind of opportunities coming to you and people showing you love and support. Follow me on Neuro Shift Subliminals. I'll spell that out, Neuro, and then the word shift together, Subliminals. So that is my newest channel. Once I hit the 50 subscriber number, which I'm just very near, I would start going live there and share more information with you on just how this all works, because it's very fascinating. It's very fascinating. I've learned a lot over the last couple of months about the whole world of just like manifestation and the brain and all of that. So I really enjoy it, and I love to share it with you all. So just make sure you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe here, as well as subscribe to the new channel as well. But y'all know I'm going to still stay tapped in with everything that's going on in the world. And if I see anything else that I feel like is pressing that I really need to get out here to you all, I will definitely be back. So you make it a great one. Take care of yourselves and one another. Heavy on taking care of yourself. Because listen, like I said, ain't nobody got you but you like that. People out here, listen, you got to have you. So put you first, and everything else is going to fall in line. So I'll catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.